Hey, it's DPerry with Property Consultants Realty, and today on Logan Square and West Townhomes Live, I'm going to share with you a report entitled In Closing, How to Seal the Home Buying Deal. Sign that paperwork, write those checks, get those keys. This report is provided by House Logic, which is made possible by realtors. But before we get into the report, what I'd like to do is quickly plug a fantastic tool for you. Market Snapshot. Sign up for Market Snapshot. Well, what is it? Its name implies what it does. It provides a snapshot of real estate in any area that you choose. And you get detailed information. You see color-coded houses on a map. You can drill down for interior, exterior details, info on schools, shops, restaurants, parks, you name it. You can get as frequently as you like or as infrequently. And you can unsubscribe at any time. And the best part, it's absolutely free. So sign up now. Go ahead and click that link in the show notes. Now, back to our report. So, how to seal the home buying deal. The closing, it all comes down to this, the grand finale. Once you have the keys, the house is yours. Cue air horn sound. Nice work getting this far. You're almost a homeowner. Let's run through some questions you may have as you cross the finish line. What does closing mean? The close or settlement is when you sign the final ownership and insurance paperwork and get the home's keys. The closing process technically begins when you have signed a purchase and sale agreement. Now that agreement should specify a closing date. Typically, from the signing date to the closing date, closings take 4 to 6 weeks. During this time, purchasing funds are held in escrow, purchasing funds or earnest money, where your money is safe until the deal is officially done. Now, what's a closing disclosure? Lenders must provide borrowers with a closing disclosure or CD at least 3 days before settlement. The form is a statement of your final loan terms and closing costs. You have 3 days to review the CD. Compare it to the loan estimate you received shortly after you applied for the loan. Now, if you need a refresher on loan estimates, you can view a sample when you actually visit the full article. The point of this formal review process is to ensure that there are no surprises at the closing table. If there's a significant discrepancy between the loan estimate and CD, notify your lender and title company immediately. Depending on what the underlying issue is, the closing has to stop and a new closing disclosure must be sent out with a new 3-day review period. There are a couple of things on the LE that can't change by the time you get the CD, namely interest rate and lender fees. Some items can change by only 10%. Fees paid to local government to record the mortgage might be one. And others can change without limit, like prepaid interest, because it can't be predicted at the start of the loan process. Now, when will the final walkthrough happen? Most real estate sales contracts allow the buyer to walk through the home within 24 hours of settlement to check the property's condition. During this final inspection, which usually takes about an hour, you and your agent will make sure any repair work that the seller agreed to make has been completed. Now, during the final walkthrough, you'll also double check that everything in the house is in good working order. Be sure to run water in all the faucets and check for leaks under sinks. Test appliances. Check the garage door opener. Flush toilets. Open and close all doors. Run the garbage disposal and exhaust fans. If the home is in good shape, woo! Your next stop is the closing table. If anything is amiss, your agent will contact the listing agent and, in most cases, negotiate to get the seller to compensate you at closing, typically in the form of a personal check for the cost of fixing the problems yourself. Or what I've seen is that a credit is just given, it's just added to the HUD or the settlement statement. Worst case scenario, you have to delay closing to resolve problems. In the unlikely event that happens, your agent will help you address the issue. Now, who's invited to the closing? Certain people will be there. Who exactly depends on your state. Typically, you'll be joined by your agent, the seller, the seller's agent, a title company representative, your loan officer, and any real estate attorneys involved in the transaction. The closing usually takes place at the title company, attorney's office, or buyer or seller's agent's real estate office. FYI, some states like California don't require an in-person sit-down closing because they've enacted legislation that allows for electronic closings with remote notaries. Nonetheless, as the home buyer, you'll have to sign what might seem like a mountain of paperwork, including the deed of trust, promissory notes, promising the lender you'll pay back the loan, and other documents that cramping your wrists will be worth it once everything is done. Now, how much will I pay for closing costs? If you've heard people vent frustration with the process of buying a home, then you've likely heard complaints about unexpected costs at closing. Now let's unpack what you should expect so you're not surprised too. Closing costs can vary widely by location and your home's purchase price. Costs are split between you and the seller. But as the buyer, you'll cover the lion's share. You can generally expect your closing cost to be 3 to 4% of the home sales price. So on a $300,000 home, you can pay anywhere from $9,000 to $12,000 in closing costs. Meanwhile, the seller typically pays closing costs of around maybe 8%. It says here in the article 1 to 3% of the sales price, but in our Chicagoland area, it's more like around 8%. You can try to predict closing costs with calculators like NerdWallet, which lets you plug in your mortgage details to get a rough estimate of what your costs will be. Closing fees often include, but are not limited to, commissions for the buyer's agent and seller's agent, a loan application, an origination fee, which lenders charge for processing your loan, the appraisal fee, a fee for pulling your credit report, an underwriting fee, which covers the lender's costs of researching whether to approve you for the loan, a title search fee, property taxes, which are due within 60 days of the purchase, a recording fee for filing a public land record with the courthouse, and these fees are a bummer. The bright side, almost all of them are one-time deals. So what should I bring other than champagne? Well, at the closing, you should have a government-issued photo ID, a copy of the ratified sales contract, a homeowner's insurance certificate, proof of flood insurance if you're buying a home in a flood zone, a cashier's check or proof of wire transferred to cover the remainder of the down payment and your closing costs. Also, talk to your attorney about anything else you might need to bring depending on your state or personal circumstances, such as a separation or divorce decree, should your relationship status affect the closing. What is title insurance and why do I need it? Every lender requires borrowers to purchase title insurance, a policy that protects you and the lender from outside claims of ownership of the property. Wait, you may be asking, some random person could show up and claim they own the house? Sounds crazy, but it happens. Let's say a previous owner didn't pay all of their property taxes. Because those taxes remain against the property, the taxing entity could potentially take your home if you don't have a clean title. Title insurance also protects you from ownership claims over liens, fraudulent claims from previous owners, clerical problems in courthouse documents, or forged signatures. The title company will perform a comprehensive search of deeds, wills, trusts, and public records to trace the property's history and verify that you're becoming the rightful sole owner of the property. Typically, lenders have a preferred title company they work with, but it's ultimately the buyer's decision as to which title company to use. Your agent could offer a few referrals. Excuse me. Title insurance comes in two forms. Lender's title insurance, which, no surprise, protects the lender, is required. Owner's title insurance, which protects you, is optional but recommended because it covers your interest in the property. If the insurance company loses a battle over the title in the future, but you purchased owner's title insurance, you're fully protected. Owner's title insurance will also cover your legal fees if you have to defend your ownership rights in court. Unlike most insurance policies such as homeowner's insurance, car insurance, and life insurance, title insurance is paid as a one-time fee at closing. The average cost of title insurance is about $544 for the lender's policy and about $830 for the homeowner's policy, according to Value Penguin data. However, costs can vary significantly depending on the home you're buying, where it's located, and how much legwork the title company has to perform. What if there are last-minute issues? Should I panic? For your loan to be approved, it has to go through underwriting. The underwriter's job is to validate all of your financials, confirming that your income, credit, and debt haven't changed since you were pre-approved for the loan, as well as to review the property's characteristics and appraisal. If everything checks out, your mortgage will be approved. If something goes wrong during underwriting, though, you'll have to address the problem before you can close on the home. Let's say your credit score dropped because you recently purchased a car with an auto loan or maxed out your credit cards. This isn't necessarily dire, but you may need to delay closing as you work with your lender to take steps to raise your score. Also, for that reason, it's a good idea to hold off on big purchases, avoid overusing a credit line, and doing really anything that could result in a credit inquiry until after closing. Okay, can I celebrate now? If you've made it through close, yes. Once you've climbed that mountain of paperwork and have those keys in your hands, you now officially, finally own a home. Congratulations. You put in a lot of hard work, including to build relationships with your agent, your lender, and other experts along the way. Now it's time to start investing in other relationships, like with your new neighbors. So, I hope you found value in that. Again, if you'd like to keep your finger on the pulse of real estate in any area in the Chicagoland area, you need to sign up for Market Snapshot. As I stated before, its name implies what it does. Allows you to keep your finger on the pulse of real estate in any area. All you have to do is click the link that's over in the show notes. It's the same link that's on the screen. And you'll receive an email. Click the link in the email. You'll see color-coded houses on a map. You'll get details on interior, exterior, schools, shops, markets, restaurants, bars, parks, you name it. You can get it as frequently as you want or as infrequently. And you can unsubscribe at any time with no obligation. Absolutely free. No reason not to sign up. If you have any questions about real estate, give me a call. My name is Doug Perry. You can reach me at 312-572-9801 or email me at DPerry@propertyconsultants.com. I look forward to speaking with you. I'd love to meet you even better.